What's up, y'all? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about a video game that I am very, very, very excited for, interested in, a bit concerned for, and I just want to talk about this game. But before I do that, I ask that you please subscribe, like, and share this video. It would really help me out, and it would just help share the channel with more people that like the stuff that I cover here, right? Because you guys know I cover every single thing that I am interested in, at least to a certain degree. So, this game that I'm going to talk about is called Crimson Desert. It comes from a studio named Pearl Abyss. Now, um, I'm gonna be completely honest. I pre-ordered this game today. I've been looking at this game for I really got interested in this game a year and a half ago, I would say, because I've never played a Pearl Abyss game, right? Um and for me it's for video games especially, right? Especially with how expensive they are now, I like to have people that I trust make the video game and stuff like that. Not to say I won't try new games, because that's what services like Xbox Game Pass allow you to do. They allow you to try new games, right? But so I'm taking a risk on this game, but this game has looked sick for the 7 years that it's been in development. So if you guys don't know who Pearl Abyss are, I'll explain who they are. So Pearl Abyss are known for making a game called Black Desert Online. Now, this game, Crimson Desert, is not an MMORPG. It's actually a single player action adventure open world game, which if you were to ask me what my favorite genre of video game to play is, I'm a big gamer. That's one of my big free passions in life. If you were to ask me what my big free passions in life are, um, it would be music. Well, music and entertainment. So music and acting and stuff like that. Video games and nerd stuff. Those are like my three big passions in life, right? So I've played a ton of video games. This video game, Crimson Desert, looks like the most ambitious video game I've ever seen in my life. Because, dude, you can literally fly a mech, like a robot, around. You can, and this is from all the gameplay that they've shown so far, right? Which they've shown, hours of gameplay. When I first really got hooked on this game was when last year, or not last year, 2 years ago in 2024, they dropped they dropped 50 minutes of gameplay. Now, for me, when you're confident in something, you're gonna talk about that something, right? When you drop 50 minutes of gameplay and I don't know the studio, I'm automatically gonna be like, okay, I'll check you out. You know why I'm gonna check you out? Because you're confident in your game to drop almost an hour of footage. So that's when Crimson Desert really caught my attention. Now, this game looks like a mix between Red Dead Redemption 2, um, The Witcher 3, and the Middle Earth Shadow of games, which I love all three of those games. So, Witcher 3, for instance, is one of my favorite games of all time. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, and I really, really, really like the the Middle Earth Shadow of War games. I mean, Shadow of Mordor games, right? Um, and so for me, what excites me about this game, and what concerns me about this game, is how ambitious it is. Now, first of all, what excites me about this is this studio Pearl Abyss taking a risk, because they've never made a single player action adventure game. Again, they're known for making MMORPGs, right? I haven't played Black Desert Online, so I'm taking a risk. But like, dude, this game looks like a mix between, like, it has elements of all my favorite games in it. I love Assassin's Creed, right? I've been playing Assassin's Creed for since 2010, maybe. So like, since like Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite franchises of all time. Then it looks like it has elements of um uh The Witcher video game franchise in it, which you guys, I've talked about how much I love The Witcher multiple times on this channel, but I love The Witcher. Mainly the video game series. I have nothing against the TV show. The first 3 seasons with Henry Cavill are really good. Um, the season with Liam Hemsworth isn't very good. but The Witcher is one of my favorite franchises ever. So it looks a bit like The Witcher, right? It has elements of Game of Thrones in it because you can ride around a dragon, right? It has elements of, now I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom because I the Switch with my hand, the Nintendo, like, I haven't played the Switch 2, so I can't speak to the Switch 2, but my hand didn't like, the Switch 1 didn't work for me because my Switch 1 broke, and the Joy-Cons were too small for my hands. I have big hands, right? Haven't played the Switch 2 yet, right? I don't know if I'm going to, because personally I think the Switch 2 is overpriced, so I can't speak on the Switch 2, but in terms of the Switch 1, didn't work for me. But when I did play my Switch 1 for a bit before it broke, I loved Zelda Breath of the Wild, and it looks like it has elements of that game in it. It looks like Crimson Desert has elements of that game in it. It looks like Crimson Desert has elements of Dragon's Dogma and Monster Hunter, and like life sim elements and stuff like that. Now, they've made it very clear that this is not. They've made it very clear that it's an action adventure game with RPG elements. So what that means is you're not gonna be making. Your main protagonist is named Cliff, so you're not gonna be making like dialogue choices, right? But you can choose how you're gonna play and choose how you spec your characters and stuff like that. In fact, Cliff is your main protagonist, but like a few weeks ago they announced that you can also play as 2 other characters, right? One that's more ranged focused with like guns and rifles and stuff like that, and one that's more like a brute class with a big axe and stuff like that. Now, my concerns with this game, because I do have concerns with this game, right? For your first single player game that you've ever made, and I get it, they make MMORPGs, where MMORPGs have as many systems as Crimson Desert has in it, times 20, right? But I'm not a big MMORPG player, but I am not an idiot, right? I've obviously seen MMORPGs in the wild before. I just don't. My favorite style of game to play is single player games, or fighting style games, or story based games, right? But I do love Mortal Kombat. I can't wait for Marvel Dokkan Fighting Souls, and I can't wait for Injustice 3. I'm really interested in the Invincible fighting game. Like So for me, it's like I love a bunch of different genres of games, but like if you were to ask me what my favorite genre of game is, it's probably action adventure or open world, right? Now, um, the combat in this game looks like a fighting game. Like it honestly looks like a fighting game. It looks like you have as many moves as like you would have in like Tekken for your character, right? Like because you can grapple people, you can like use wrestling moves and throw them around like a Zuma wrestler. You can use sword and shield. You can use a bow, an arrow. You can use a bow and arrow to call in like airstrikes. Again, as I said, like, and I'm assuming these. Well, actually, yes, I know because I've been watching a ton of interviews on this game over the last few weeks because this game comes out. I don't know if I said this. March 19th, 2026. So we don't have a long way to go till we get a chance to play this game. So like the Pearl Abyss and their head marketing guy, Will Powers, and I just want to shout him out. Will Powers, he's a really good marketer. Now, what I mean by that is I don't mean that he's good at selling the game, which he is, but I mean like he's really good at answering people's questions, but not like what's the nice way to say this? Not like being a shill. And what I mean by being a shill is like, oh yeah, this game is the greatest game of all time. Like he gives you reasons why it's the greatest, why he thinks it's a good game. He gives you like he really thinks about his answers. And one other thing that I really respect about him too is he's made a pact, or he made a deal with every YouTuber that has had the chance to interview him. And he's like, hey, you can ask me anything that you want to. I promise you, I won't give you a no comment answer, and these interviews aren't just like 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. So I'm watching an interview right now that's 2 hours long with him and a gaming podcast that I watch. And I just have mad respect for Pearl Abyss and Will Powers for having that much confidence in your game to sit there and to answer questions about your game for 2 hours, right? An hour and a half here, 2 hours there, an hour here, right? Like that proves to me you have faith in your game, but that also proves to me that like you're willing to answer questions. Now, one thing that I also like is he's not like spoiling the game for people that haven't played it yet, because let's just be honest, the general public, like myself, haven't played this game, right? Right? We've seen it, like any video game, like, I keep in mind that, like, I'm a YouTuber, right? I cover music, I cover video games, I cover acting, I cover advocacy, I cover a lot of different things on every one of my channels, right? But like for me, I still consider myself, like, even though I cover all this stuff, like any video game that I buy myself, right? Any any opinion that I have about anything that I review on this channel or on either one of my channels is my own opinion, right? If this game is bad, I'll say it's bad. If this game rules, I'll say it rules. If this game is in the middle for me, I'll say it's in the middle for me, right? Like, I'm very, very excited for a lot of games this year, right? But it's like, and you guys should know that by now, like, I'm very honest with my opinion because I feel that that's my job. That's your job as a YouTuber. Your job as a YouTuber is to give your honest opinion on things, right? Right? That's for any YouTuber, not just myself, but for any YouTuber, right? Your job is to give your honest opinion on this thing. That's why I said to you guys, I'm excited for this game. Obviously, I pre-ordered this game, but I'm also kind of nervous for this game because I like this game, as I said before, is the most ambitious game I've ever seen in my life. Right? With how many systems they're promoting that they have in this game. And I've played a lot of video games, and I've been around for a lot of video game marketing cycles and stuff like that. Like, right? Um, this is probably if not the most ambitious game I've ever seen in my life. It's probably one of them, right? Right? Well, it's definitely one of them, right? And um one thing that I do hope too is that the story's really good, right? Cuz for me, when I get really invested into a game, doesn't matter what game it is, I want to do everything in that game. I want to like, for example, I didn't do everything in Ghost of Yotei, but I got pretty damn near close to doing everything in Ghost of Yotei, right? Like I'm pretty sure I like 90% completed that game, right? I didn't get the platinum, but I got pretty damn near close to it, right? And I the reason why that game hooked me so much is I liked the characters, I loved the gameplay, I loved the characters, I loved the progression loop and how it would give you rewards and stuff like that. Hopefully this game hooks me like Ghost of Yotei did, right? And it 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 gives me that same feeling. Now what I'm saying with that is I'm not expecting this game to be Ghost of Yotei, right? Because they have very like Ghost of Yotei and Crimson Desert have like they're both open world games where you wield a sword, but and a bunch of other weapons, but they have very different settings, right? Like Crimson Desert has it's a fantasy setting. Like there's mechs in the game, there's dragons in the game, there's powers that make you feel like Batman and Spider-Man in the game. There's like there's so many different things with it, and yeah, like one of and the other thing that I really respect about Will Powers, their marketing guy, is he's very good at setting expectations. Like for example, like he's been asked a lot of questions about performance and what's another one that he's been asked about, like the length of the game and stuff like that. And he's like, I'm not gonna answer that because some people are like, oh no, I can't play that game because it's too long, right? And honestly, like you for me as a gamer, right, that's been playing video games for as long as I have, right? You can't promise, you can't say to somebody, "Oh, this is how long our game is," because you don't know that specific gamer, um, and how much time they are willing to sink into your game and stuff like that. Now, for like a game like that I'm also very excited for, that I will be covering on this channel, that comes out next week, Resident Evil 9, that is a uh, action adventure horror game, like a horror game that's not open world, right? So like that's more realistic to give you a time um, gauge on how long it will take you to get the game, but I mean beat the game. But for a game like Crimson Desert or a game like Lego Batman, for example, like open world style games, right? You can't you well, you can give an average ballpark, but you can't say, oh yeah, this is gonna be how long it takes to beat our game, right? So yeah, for me, I'm really hyped for this game. I can't wait to play it. And yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. If you guys are gonna pick Crimson Desert up, or you guys have thoughts on Crimson Desert, please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. And God bless you guys.